$226 million at the global box office.
That's a historic, never been done before, rewrite the rulebook kind of moment.
Maybe he did this, maybe he didn't.
Many of you who saw the Michael Jackson film may not have noticed that the film ends before the years where the allegations would have taken place. A lot of you may be thinking there's going to be a part 2, and that maybe this ended just before the allegations because they will be discussed in a future movie. That's what I thought when I saw it. But I'm here to tell you that that's not likely to be the case, and the reason for this is because the filmmakers of the Michael Jackson movie were effectively bribed to keep that out of it, according to People magazine. The strategic use of the early years of Michael Jackson was focusing on the good stuff, and that's for very good reason. Sales of his merchandise, his music, are certainly going to net the people who created this movie a lot of money. And in an effort to make sure that the Michael Jackson movie results in increased revenue, increased sales, and more money for those people who own the rights to Michael Jackson's life, they wanted to keep this information out of it. Those are the same people who paid off the producers of the movie to make sure that Michael Jackson-related information that would very likely cancel him does not make it into the public eye. According to reports about the Michael Jackson film, there was supposed to be a third act, and that third act was supposed to depict some of the troubling information about Michael Jackson and his relationship with children. That's why when you watch this movie, it feels a bit incomplete. The third act dealt with the 1993 case related to Jordan Chandler. Jordan Chandler was one of the children that Michael Jackson had a very close relationship with. Reportedly, their relationship became strong after Michael Jackson broke down on the side of the road. Jordan Chandler was apparently the son of one of the tow driving company owners. Michael Jackson became very close with him and started to call him while he was on tour, eventually having him over to the house, buying his parents jewelry, and having a very close relationship with the boy. Now, according to the Washington Post, after the movie had already been filmed that included Jordan Chandler allegations, the lawyers for the Michael Jackson estate discovered a clause in the old Jordan Chandler settlement. According to the lawyers, that clause barred Jordan Chandler being depicted in the movie in any way. And of course, even if they didn't use Jordan Chandler or his name, just depicting an individual that was closely related or similar to Jordan Chandler would have caused a catastrophe and likely lawsuits by the Chandler family. That was their justification for making sure this information stays out. The lawyers argued that just depicting Jordan Chandler or a character like him would have been enough for breach of contract, and that was their whole basis for removing problematic statements or footage in the Michael Jackson film. As a result, the filmmakers had to rewrite and reshoot the entire ending of the Michael Jackson movie. According to outlets such as Variety and Pitchfork, the reshoot lasted about 22 days at the cost of $10 to $15 million to complete. Now, apparently the original movie focused more on the 1993 scandal, including about a third of the movie may have included information related to the scandal. And of course, we don't have that footage because it was cut from the movie, but I imagine that footage is closely under guard, so we will never know what was kept from the American public under the guise of this Jordan Chandler settlement. Now, the lawyers are giving this story about the reshoot and why it was necessary for contractual reasons. They're suggesting that the reshoot had to happen because of contracts with Jordan Chandler. But there's another stranger story out there that needs to have some light underneath it. Some news outlets reported that Antoine Fuqua and producer Graham King received additional compensation connected to the reshoot of the movie. Apparently, Fuqua and Graham King received potentially 10 to 15 million on top of their original compensation, and this was tied directly to reshooting the new third act to the film. This first appeared, according to my research, in People.com, but was later widely reported by other media outlets. Now, this raises the question, how appropriate is it for a movie producer to receive additional compensation from the family of someone for taking something out of a movie that might have been harmful? Well, the Michael Jackson movie is not intended as a documentary. It's a piece of fiction. It's more akin to a traditional feature film, and accuracy is not important to those who are making a film like that. But the problem with this is that the nuance here has not been stated publicly outside of a video like this and other reporting. A lot of people won't know that the sort of information related to Michael Jackson that would be harmful failed to get into the movie because the makers of the movie were bribed to keep that information out.
We need to capitalize on Michael's success.
This is one of the reasons why we've got to be very careful with the media that we consume and not let the story that's portrayed by Hollywood of Michael Jackson change our perceptions of Michael Jackson or his harmful content. The disgusting reality of this is that those people who harbored Michael Jackson and prevented him from facing justice for his alleged activities are the same people now trying to profit off of him, and we're simply allowing the large media companies to continue doing what they do best: hide misconduct, prevent it from getting into the public eye so that they can profit off of it as much as possible. Now, you may think whatever you want to about Michael Jackson's 2005 trial. He was acquitted. But along with that acquittal, there was a tremendous amount of evidence that Michael Jackson engaged in some conduct that may have been illegal or at least questionable. He openly admitted to sleeping with children in his bed. He openly admitted to taking them on trips. He openly admitted to providing jewelry to family members and expensive vacations. He had odd, very close relationships with children, and some of the things found in Michael Jackson's bedroom upon a later search warrant were very problematic that I won't go into here on this episode. Let me just say, police upon a later search found pornography in Michael Jackson's bedroom with children's fingerprints on some of those magazines. Now, all of this could have been prevented had the people who were insulating Michael Jackson ensured that he didn't engage in this sort of conduct, but they were too busy making money off of Michael Jackson. Now the same thing has happened now that a movie is out. They're too busy making money off of Michael Jackson and preventing some of his bad conduct from reaching the public eye. That strongly shapes the public narrative about this pop star who engaged in such questionable conduct. Producers being bribed, family members of boys being bribed. All in all, the public continues to be harmed by a narrative that is simply not true. Now, in the United States, you have the ability to contract privately with any individual that you want to, and we should respect Jordan Chandler's rights to contract and his family to receive some sort of settlement. That being said, all settlements aside, if a director wants to make a movie about a pop superstar, they should make a movie that tells the real story of the pop superstar Michael Jackson, not something that has been designed to create a public image that never existed related to Michael Jackson. Now, you make up your own mind about Michael Jackson, but one thing is for sure: the producers of that very glowing film, that biopic of him, were effectively bribed to make him look good as possible, and that's not something that sits well with me, and it's not something that should sit well with you.